The Tennessee Vols, looking for their 8th win of the season, head to Gainesville on Saturday in a matchup that sets up in the weirdest way. I'll tell you what I mean and what I think the Vols must do to get out with the win coming up next. Hey, Lucas Panzica here from 104.5 The Zone and A to Z Sports. So, Vols looking for their first win in the Swamp since 2003, and it is hard to figure out what this game will look like between Tennessee and Florida, starting with the Gators, who obviously fired head coach Billy Napier a few weeks ago. This will be, number one, Florida's first game in the Swamp since firing their head coach, so the fan base's response and turnout will certainly be interesting at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Number two, and more importantly, Florida has been competitive. They've also laid down in this stretch since firing Billy Napier. The Gators, after firing their head coach, came out of the bye week and played a knockdown, drag-out game in a neutral site against Georgia in a 24-20 competitive loss against a top-5 football team in a rivalry matchup. And then what the Gators do, they turned around and they got spanked by Kentucky. 38-7, the final in Lexington against probably the second worst team in the Southeastern Conference. The Florida Gators looked lifeless. DJ Lagway threw 3 interceptions. He was benched in this game, and the Gators took the blowout loss. And then how'd they respond? They turned around and pushed Ole Miss to the brink on the road in Oxford in a 34-24 final against the Rebels. This is a Florida team that is talented, that seems like it's playing for its interim head coach, Billy Gonzalez, and talented players playing for their next opportunity. But it's so hard to figure this team out right now. And then you add in the voodoo that has been Gainesville, Florida for Tennessee since that last win there in 2003. And I'm not going to blame Vols fans for feeling especially, I don't want to say pessimistic, but let's just say nervous about this game. Let's just say the BVS, battered Vol syndrome, might be pretty high going into Gainesville. Well, one thing the Gators were unable to do against Ole Miss is stop the run game. 237 rush yards by the Ole Miss Rebels. Florida's run defense has been bottom 4 in the SEC this year. They're giving up over 142 yards per game. Now, Tennessee's rushing offense has not exactly been at as high a level as we've grown accustomed to in the Heupel era. Vols are still top half in the league. They're averaging over 176 rush yards per game, but they've got to get more explosive plays out of the run game, which for me likely means a healthy dose of Deshaun Bishop in this game for Tennessee to control the line of scrimmage, for Joey Aguilar not to be put in bad situations and continue this recent trend of turning the football over and putting the ball in harm's way. Tennessee simply has to go down to Gainesville and take care of business in what sets up to be a weird game, but also a great opportunity for the Vols to get their first win in the Swamp in 22 years. Ultimately, my prediction, I'm going with Tennessee in a tight one, 28-25 in the Swamp.